Hello. Welcome. I didn't even get the music going. Felt a little quiet. I definitely am not late at all to the stream. Not late or unprepared. Never would do that to you guys. Never. Let me get the music going here, and I will explain. And swap that over to this so you can actually hear it. Drop it down a bit. And there we go. Not as many people in the chat pre-show as I thought there would be, if I'm being honest, because I am really late today. Alright. So, we've got some stuff to go over today. First of all, I was late because I fell asleep on the couch and just happened to wake up at like 12:08. I had a good night's sleep and everything. I just ate my breakfast, lunch, and I guess it was like Thanksgiving. I was tired from eating everything and fell asleep. I was watching a more tutorial-esque video, so it wasn't very exciting to keep me awake. But yeah, that's about it. Let me flip over to the main camera here. We've got a couple of things. Shout out to Zed Labs. I feel like I've said this, but the majority of my my plain color shells, not any of the UV print stuff yet, but stuff like this comes from Zed Labs. I've just taken the majority of the stuff out of the packaging because it's a little easier to store when it's not wrapped in all of this. But when I say that Zed Labs has the best packaging in the game, this is what I'm talking about. They have swapped over, at least partially, to a plastic-free packaging, so that's pretty cool. And it still looks very branded, but this is one of the last plastic ones. I always thought these were really cool. Might be a little overkill. Excuse me. Might be a little bit overkill for a plastic shell, but it still looks awesome. Anyways, if you want to grab... How did that fall down there? If you want to grab a shell from Zed Labs or a mod kit like this, because I also bought the mod kits from them, then you can check out my link in the description, or you can use code Jake at Zed Labs, so save some money. Alright, let's go over what we have new in stock, which, by the way, I don't think I've seen anybody make any Game Boys in this shell yet. I know I bought it like right when they made the listing, so hopefully I'm on top of it. But of course, we've got these two that are still available. The Atomic Purple SP just sold this morning. Well, it was like 3 in the morning for me, but still. But, whoa, and I almost just dropped it. We have a new all red, clear red Game Boy Macro, and I'm gonna go ahead and make this live right now. So retroremastered.com, link in the description. It'll probably take you to the GBA or the GBC section, but that is now active. So if you want to buy this, you can now. And it does, a little update, both of them today do. It does have the speaker in it. It still sounds like garbage, and it's not very loud, like, at all. So, for those who are like, yeah, finally, he did a speaker, I would love for you to hear it, but I don't even think the mic would pick it up. It is that quiet. Not to diss my own work, but I just gotta be honest. Oh no. Okay, that's cleaning up. That's from the super glue. But that's wiping off. Okay. Well, I'll clean that up better later. Yeah, it just wiped off. Okay, cool. Anyways, I'll set that off to the side. And then we have it in purple. And it also has some of that from the super glue, but it wipes right off, so I don't know. Maybe it's just dust, but I'm pretty sure it's from the super glue. Anyways, we have it in clear purple as well. And you can also find this on the website. Whoa. And it also has a speaker. It is now live on the website. Again, not very loud. It's very quiet. And it's even then, it's not very good. And if you're like, oh, why didn't you use an amp? Because an amp just amplifies everything. It's gonna amplify the bad sound too. So I think it's a little silly to add sound to a mod that is just known to not have good sound. But the last thing we have available today is another Game Boy Pocket. Now in pink, and it doesn't have a bad screen in it, because when I first did this, it was meant to come out on Monday's stream, and it had a bad screen. So I replaced that. It was a large pain in the butt, and now there's like a little tiny piece of dust on the inside. So, yeah. But that is now live. All of this that you see here is either live currently or will be very, very soon. We just got to build it. And what was that? I just lose a screw. Oh yeah, I forgot. I will be honest, I need to replace the the screw for the battery door on this one. I just haven't done it yet, but it's no big deal. They just gave me a dud and I have a ton of them, so I just forgot to do that earlier. Alright. Oh, and last thing. These shirts. Now the sweatshirts for this, I'm gonna zoom in on my face cam here. This is hard to do when everything's mirrored, but the Modders Do Nintendo sweatshirts have been available for about a week or so now. The t-shirts are finally good. I'm not wearing one. I'm wearing a long sleeve Maui t-shirt under this, but the Modders Do Nintendo t-shirts are now available, and they should be live on the website. You should also be able to see them down below this video, I think. I'm not sure, but super pumped for it, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm really liking the colors on it. They really pop. So they come in a dark heather gray, which is essentially a better looking black. It's kind of like, no, I don't have the top down on. It's kind of like this color, and the lettering is white on it, and then the other shirts are just white like this. So yeah. And the white shirts, I believe, are sublimation, so it'll only fade over time. It will not chip off or anything like that. The other colors, they have to be printed on. I don't think you can do sublimation on anything other than white, but you can fact check me on that. Those white sweatshirts are the same. It'll only fade over time, which I love that. So you can grab those at the links down below. Whew, that was a lot of advertisement. But I'm going to end this poll, and we can say hello to everybody and get started. We got Archer, Angelic, Kelsey, Stellars, Irwin, DC, Tatted Tech, Ramkaran? I hope I said that right. You can correct me. Bloink, Anthony. I almost said Anthony, and MN Sweet. How are you guys doing? Alright. And only, why have the 22% of you not left a like on the stream? What's going on? I'm kidding, you don't have to leave a like, but it is always appreciated. We got 21 likes and 22 people in here. I'm good with that. I am good with that. Alright. I'm gonna mount my phone up there so I can hopefully see any incoming notifications, and let's do some mods. Put all of that off to the side, just like we have. Oh, I do want to say one more thing. I guess I could have waited till we got there, but I think I've kind of said this in streams before, but I bought a lot of buttons and membranes for all the different colors and stuff. If you get membranes that have the start and select that are like this, that are completely rounded off and don't have like the indents, let me grab a good example. Like this. This is what a good one looks like. The blue one is just way too stiff, and it doesn't really press down well at all. I've tried it like 3 or 4 times now. It's just not good. So if you get them like this, and your start and select aren't working well, then that's probably your problem. I recommend the ones that look like the original. These are super soft and malleable, which is good, because if it's too rigid, then you're gonna have a hard time pressing down. These have to pop through like that to actually get the button to press. And they don't seem to stick up as far. I don't know if they're actually having a height problem or not. Yeah, they look about the same height. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. That's why the Lugia Game Boy is not going to have matching blue membranes for start and select. Because all of the blue membranes that I have are that style for start and select. The rest of them, the D-pad and A and B membranes, are fine. I don't know what it is. Alright. Now we can tear these apart. Hello, Gabriel. Hello, Elisa. Eliza? There's an S, so I feel like it's Elisa. I feel like Eliza is with a Z. What am I getting this soldering iron out for? You can tell I took a nap. Anyways. Tri-wing is what we're going for. I don't know if a craft knife would help. Just because it's also just a thicker base in general. I was just pointing out the shape because that's like the easiest way to tell the difference between the two. Come on. First form. I don't remember what I said first. Elisa. I'm gonna go with that. Hello, Omar. And downright spiffy. How you doing? Oh, also, I'd like to announce there's a new members only video that I would recommend you check out, whether you're a member or not. That's all I'm gonna say. It's an unboxing of a bunch of stuff. That's all I'm gonna say. That screw was very stiff. How long would this take you to do if you weren't streaming? Probably about 20 minutes. Average person that hasn't done this before, I'd say 30 to 40. Depending if you skip any steps or not. Because not everybody does the trimming that I do on the cart pins. It's in my watch later queue. Cool. I really enjoyed it. I'm Brazilian, so our eyes. Not. Okay. Let's keep it appropriate, man. Okay. Where can I buy it? Where can you buy what? The Game Boys that I'm working on? The shirts or the other Game Boys that I'm not quite sure what thing you're referring to, but pretty much everything I've talked about will be or is currently available at retroremastered.com, my website. Link down below. Phillips? Oh, yeah. Okay, someone commented this on one of my videos recently, because I say Phillips head a lot in my tutorials, just videos in general, and I used to say they're technically JIS, but Phillips will work just fine if that's all you have, or something along those lines. And I got tired of saying that all the time, because it really doesn't matter. I have an iFixit kit that has Phillips and has JIS. I still use the Phillips heads. They work fine. I, in fact, rarely have times where screws strip, and when they do, it's either because I'm using the wrong size head, like it's too small, or it's because it's a tri-wing. So, just want to point that out. And the reason why I say Phillips is because I don't want to scare people off and say, oh, it's JIS, and they're like, oh, I don't have one of those screwdrivers. I don't know how much those cost. I don't want to, like, yeah, it's going to be a small percentage of people. But if I just say Phillips, and they use a Phillips head, and they're using the right size bit, it's going to be fine. There's a slight difference between the two, but not big enough of a difference for it to really matter. I just don't want to have to say a mouthful every single tutorial. I get bored with myself when I say the same thing over and over again. But they were being rude, so we ignore them and we move on after we complain about them on stream. Love to watch you make mods. It's very fun and satisfying. It is very fun and satisfying. Okay. Let's start with a little schmoo there. Alright, cool. Let's do some trimming. This is the fun part, so if you have any drinks or snacks you want to get while I trim up all of these, you can. This will be the thing. See, like, if I have time like this and it doesn't ruin the flow of a video, like, saying unnecessary things in a video will always ruin the flow of it. So that's why I don't say something like that all the time. But when we're on stream, I can take the time every single time to say, the reason why I trim these pins is because the very first time I did this mod, I had issues with shorting. And I couldn't figure out why until I realized, oh, these pins were poking into the ribbon cable in the screen that rests right above it. So when I trimmed it down and covered it in Kapton tape, those shorting problems went away. So now I do it every single time. And recently, I tried it again just to make sure, you know, maybe it was just a one-off thing. I've been doing this for no reason, potentially. And then it happened the very first time that I didn't do it. I even covered it up in Kapton tape and everything, but I just didn't trim these down. Didn't matter. Poked right through the Kapton tape. So now I continue to do it. And I like to continue to do it on stream, because if I don't share this and I don't show it off to anybody who's potentially new and want to do this themselves, then they'll know that they should do this. Because not everybody will watch the tutorial, especially because it's coming up on a year old now, I feel like. It's still a good tutorial, you should still definitely watch it. Nothing's really changed other than maybe my style of teaching. But some people are like, I'll just watch a stream. I don't need a tutorial. And if I prepped this, then they would never know. So we take the time to do all of it. And the reason why I cover it with the plastic bag is so it doesn't fly into my eyes or in my mouth or into my drink that's open to the side. And I blow it out of the way so as not to get any, hopefully, on these boards. And I'm actually going to blast the boards real quick. I'm gonna vacuum later after the stream, so I made a mess working on stuff yesterday. Anyways, now we're good to go. Yeah. Goggles, I mean, like, sometimes I'll put on some, like, glasses or whatever, but yeah, it's more about, like, keeping it controlled. I think it's the best way to do it. I don't like to do that on stream because, like, I want people to actually see what I'm doing, and, like, some days I just use this, some days I'll use a paper towel, some days I'll just let them fly. Also, I've got one ding in my lens from just letting them fly, so when I remember that, I'm like, oh yeah, I probably shouldn't let them fly. Do you think funny playing kits are worth it? I know you've talked a lot about them, but I'd like to hear an unscripted version. Unscripted version, don't buy the first version of any funny playing screen. They suck on their first one. The first one is beta. If you look at history, the first version of the funny playing, the V1, if you go back and look at all of that, it's garbage town, as Austin would say. It is just, what did it do? It was the worst I've ever seen a mod kit, but it was also like the first IPS mod kit out there, I believe. So I can't give them too much crap, but they still released it in a state that was not good. But then the V2 has stood the test of time. I think High-Speed Edo does a better job just because their screen is brighter, like a lot brighter, and it still gets down to those lower brightness levels, so that's why I don't use the funny playing version of the V2. I use the High-Speed Edo version. I don't know if anybody copied anybody, and if they did, I don't know who copied who, but I like High-Speed Edo's better. And then for this kit has had multiple iterations, and it wasn't anything like terrible in the first one, I don't think, but they did quickly update it to a V2 as well. I think the V2 is just when they switched it to laminating, and once you're like, yeah, see the V2.3, this ribbon cable says V2.3 down here, and it's fine. It is totally fine. But then this kit is going to be the one that is not going to, it's going to require you to solder to power. So this one is solder, or does require soldering. But if it's V2.6 or later, then it doesn't require soldering. The power is in there. It'll just not be as bright as if you soldered the power line. So, and then obviously if you've watched my laminated videos from Funny Playing, I had some major problems with the GBA one that not a ton of people seem to have, but they also shipped it incomplete the first go around, to the point where no one wanted me to do a review on it, which was kind of annoying. Because I think I should have been able to review it anyways. And who knows, maybe I wouldn't have had the problems if they gave me the one that was shipped incomplete. But who knows. So yeah, generally. Oh, and then like, this isn't a kit that I had, but I'd seen plenty of other people have problems with it, to the point where they dropped the price of the product significantly early on. And I don't think they've fully restocked it since. But their GBA motherboard, where all you have to do is add the CPU and RAM, it just wasn't a high quality product. I don't know how to describe it, but I'm sure you can find things on Google and Reddit to tell you to show you what went wrong with it. And if there's anybody in the chat here that had problems with it, they can talk about it. But usually they correct it on the second or third iteration. So, after that, I like funny playing stuff. This is hands down the best Game Boy Color kit you can grab. But, to start, not so much. There's my unscripted opinion. If you want to learn how to solder, practice kits are good. But if you just want a simple, cheap project that will actually get you a Game Boy out of it, I highly recommend the Macro as your first kit. If you find a broken DS Lite, like a DS Lite with a bad top screen, they're gonna go for anywhere from 10 on the very cheap side to like 20, maybe 25 max. I wouldn't pay more than $25 for a broken DS Lite, but super cheap. And then all you need is your soldering iron, some solder, highly recommend flux, and the 330 ohm resistors. And it's one little thing, one little resistor that you have to solder. If you have to, or if you want speakers, even though they're garbage sounding, you can add those with 2 more little wires. And if you can solder for a Macro, you can solder any Game Boy project. And here's a little soldering 101. Take your iron. I have mine set to 300 degrees Celsius. It's not going to focus on it. And then you can, I recommend putting flux down. So put a little bit of flux down on where you're going to want to solder. Heat the area. Push your solder into the iron and lift up. And I kind of got a 2-for-1 there. I didn't mean to, but I already had some solder on my tip. Again, heat it up. Push the solder in and lift up. It helps if the thing you're soldering to doesn't flail as soon as you lift up. But don't hold it for too long. Just lift up. It'll be good. Soldering is really easy, especially once you get it down. When it comes to smaller stuff, that like soldering to the pins on this little chip, that's gonna be a little more difficult and not something for beginners, but still very achievable after you've had some practice and use some flux. Flux is your friend. Buy flux. I don't know why I unplugged the soldering iron. We're not done. I have all of the tools I recommend in the description. I believe I have a starter kit that I recommend in that list. It's gonna be under tools I use. Goodness gracious! Why does this ribbon cable not want to stay flat? Oh yeah, and then to add the wire to the solder, as long as you don't wait way too long, you can stick the wire. Okay, this is gonna be tough. You can stick the wire right over that spot and just heat up the iron. As long as the wire stays within the solder bubble, you're good. You might want to push it down at more of an angle. This is not easy. There we go. When this actually stays down, when your soldering surface stays flat, it's very easy, but I don't know why this one's wanting to go at an angle. Okay. There's a little mini soldering tutorial for you. I know it's public info that we live in Corvallis because of my P.O. box and all that, and I know I've said it before too, but it's still terrifying when you see your father say where you live, especially knowing his habits. But see how easy that was to solder since it was staying flat? And then we can flip it over and get the power line soldered. Don't really need to do this till the end, but whew, might as well. If I don't lose this stupid wire down the crack. Yeah, well, I trust you with all of my secrets. Will is terrible at keeping secrets. He's my brother-in-law, so just a little context there. Okay, I'm also gonna wipe the flux down there because for something like that, I usually don't use flux unless it gets all crazy and I put way too much flux down. Okay. I'm like a locked chest. I was gonna come up with a joke around that. I can't think of anything. Okay. Hello, Boomer. Your package was sent out today. Well, it was packaged last night, and I assume that it's made its way to the post office. My mom has been a huge help in helping me drop off packages. So you can thank her. Say, thanks, Jake's mom, for shipping that out. Okay. Yeah, we can put these in the shelves now. Okay, this is blue one. Shout out to moms, obviously. Moms are awesome. Yeah, as long as all the information checks out okay uh, for customers and stuff, then I usually try and ship it out the next day, like 24 hours next day. Like if you buy something at 3 a.m., I'm not gonna get it out by the morning. but if you buy it on like during the stream or just after the stream, I'll usually get it out the next day. Okay. Set that down. Set it over there. We'll get the other one out, which we'll have to manhandle because this one isn't cut open. Okay. Peel these back. And this is why I don't cut my fingernails. Well, I'm going to, like, probably right after the stream. But peels like that are the reason why I don't cut my fingernails till after I'm done streaming and recording for the week. I've never ever had a Game Boy or Pokemon, but watch how you do that, and my soul sighing, very relaxing and interesting to watch. Thank you. Okay, so now we can do that. We can do that. And for soldering to the start and select points down here, which I guess we'll do it. We'll do both ways. I don't want to say that Natalie's right or anything, but in this one you will see the wires, so I won't let them show. Depending on the shell and stuff, I think seeing the wires is cool, but not everybody does think that. But these spots are where I recommend just using flux, because they're already hard to get solder to stick to. And even the test pads down here can get hard for the solder to stick to. Whew. Okay, select. It's gonna be this one. These wires are a bit long, but they're meant to go to the test pads. Okay. Now we can solder this one down there. There we go. think we're done. No, we're done for now, but still good to clean the tip now. I'm going to take off my sweatshirt now because it's warm. It has been a lot warmer here recently. Well, yesterday it was pretty warm. And I think the rest of the week it's going to be really warm. See you later. I've been debating which one I really wanted to go for, but you can't go wrong with the classic Indigo. It's perfect timing. Yeah, I've never really been a huge fan of the classic Indigo color, at least for Game Boy Advance, but yesterday when I was taking pictures of it, I was just sitting there admiring it. It looks so nice. It is extremely clean. I don't know if it's because everything's nice and shiny and bright, new. Probably that, because I'm used to seeing it as disgusting as the one that I posted on the short yesterday. But okay, let's get rid of that flux again. I put my paper towel. Okay. Kapton tape. Another boring part of it, but it's a part of it. Why do we need flux? That is, I like to describe it as a magnet for solder. It's not something that you need, I guess, but it's something that is extremely helpful, especially for beginners. And there is flux built into rosin core solder, which is pretty much, I don't think I've ever seen someone not use rosin core solder for electronics. But the rosin core, though just flux in general, will help the solder only stick to the places where solder should stick to, like all the gold spots, the other pieces of solder. It's like a magnet. And if you're a beginner, you definitely should be using it. Welcome. Can't really read that text. Rin Masters? Welcome. And if you do solder to the test pads down here, what I recommend doing when you're covering the pins up with Kapton tape, when you do it evenly, I recommend making sure your wires are in the middle and they're not in the way of any of the screw holes or any of the buttons. And that one little piece of tape will help protect you from doing that. It'll keep there pretty well. And then I like to do a little piece of tape over this. Just didn't go very well. I should have made it bigger, so I'm gonna make it bigger. I don't know if it's gonna be the same here. Okay. I'll just do that in a second here. Let me flip these around. And let's do the buttons. A on the outside, B on the inside. D-pad. And membranes. Also helps with oxidized solder. Yes, Flux is just a magical tool all around. There's really no reason not to use it, other than being stubborn. One of my consoles is making a noise. I don't know which one it is. I just dropped the Kapton tape. Okay. So we can flip this over. Cool. Nothing's showing. We're gonna put one Phillips screw down here to secure everything. We'll try this again here. That's good length. I like to cover these ones up too, just because it can still short up here. I've had that happen before. So even though it's right along the edge of the board, there's still components that it can short on. So it's better to just cover it up than to not. That doesn't feel like it's going in. Yeah, another thing, I highly recommend reusing the original IR cover or using the one that's packed in with the screws. Just because the ones that are filled with the other buttons kind of feel a little bit bigger and they can crack the shell around here. I've learned that lesson way too many times. Not a fun lesson to learn. But Hello, Philip. Love seeing your mods, Jake. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Appreciate that. Alright, let's do this last bit of soldering for... Actually, we'll do the soldering at the same time. We'll wait. Put that off to the side for now. My speaker has grabbed onto the battery. That's funny. Okay. Now, let's do the Kapton tape first here. I don't know, I didn't do this. Then we can be done with the Kapton tape. There we go, and where? There it is. Any idea where I can find a macro DSI Excel shell? No, I don't. As far as I'm aware, they do not make any specifically for the DSI. I believe there's some people who make it for the original Game Boy, or original DS. I know there's plenty that make them for the DS Lite, but I have not seen any for the DSi, mainly because a lot of people are like, why would you do it to the DSi for the bigger screen? And you can still emulate a lot of it with an R4 card, but yeah, you're gonna have to just reuse a DSi shell. I don't know, they might have some replacement DSi shells somewhere out there, but I don't know of any. I've not tried any, so I can't really recommend any. Was having some small issues with my modded GBC, took it apart and cleaned the contacts, works great now. Yeah. Sometimes that's just it. The black, I think it's graphite, the black dots on the membranes just rub off over time from being pressed, and I honestly don't think I've played any one Game Boy enough for me to notice it, so I don't know what the longevity of it is compared to like the original membranes. But yeah, sometimes that's just a little dirty, gotta clean it up. Plus these aren't really airtight, dirt can get in there and all that stuff. Yeah. Okay. Now we can do the soldering once we plug this one in. Okay. And now definitely I'm going to use flux here. We're soldering to C on the power switch. And can be pretty tough without some flux. We're up to heat. Sometimes you're gonna have to add a little bit of new solder. It's not quite lined up there. Sorry to get my head in the way, I just had to make sure. Sometimes the top-down angle isn't enough for me. There we go. And actually, on this other one, I'm going to add a little bit of solder. Sometimes it'll help to bend your wire downward. There we go. A lot easier with extra solder there. Having that angle can help get it into the solder ball. And we're done. If you have a lot of flux there, I recommend squirting a little IPA down, cleaning it up, and ripping the wire out. Okay, I did it on the first one. First one was stronger than that. I thought we were deep in the solder there, but guess not. Pull. There we go. You can always give it a little, not too rough, but a little pull test. Make sure it's stuck on there. Little. We're good. Alright. Now, for this, a lot of the time now you can just have it fit right in there. Flush along the top and it'll be fine. For whatever reason, neither of these had the double-sided tape on it, so we're just going freely with that. But once it's in there, you can't really mess with it, so I always forget when I'm super zoomed in. Okay. Oh, power switch. And I know you're supposed to test these way earlier in the process, but I wanted to test the touchpad that does not want to cooperate. So we'll get the double-sided tape out for that one. How does this side feel? There we go. Beautiful. This one will close up and get listed, and then we'll finish off the Lugia one. Dang it, it's trying to be cool and load another screw while I was screwing another one in. Hello, Timothy. I've been having problems with my GBA after I modded it, but I don't know what's wrong with it. I took it apart and rebuilt it like 3 different times. Yeah, I would join the Discord so we can have some of our experts take a look. During streams is like the only other good place to ask about this stuff. But to get a deeper dive, definitely ask people in the Discord. We got a whole section for helps with mods. Helps with mods. Maybe a dumb question. How does that touch sensor actually work? It's under the plastic, right? Yes. So it's just capacitive. So even though it would be more effective to have it somewhere else, it's still, the plastic's still thin enough that it can sense when our finger's there. But sometimes you gotta tape it down so it's actually getting close enough to the plastic. But with this one, it fits right up there. It just kind of depends on the length of the ribbon cable. But they do include, I mean, at least most of the time, I think they include a separate one if you are having a lot of trouble with it and you need to tape it somewhere else. So, but I haven't had that issue in a long time. Usually it's with the lower point whatever versions that the touch sensor is having issues, so that's probably why this one's having a bit of an issue. But yeah, okay, let's test this. I guess I tested the screen, but I didn't test the buttons. It's a little stiff. I'll keep an eye on that. But the rest of it is working good. Alright, let's oh wait, do you hold start and select first? Goodness, it's been a long time. Okay, get rid of those grid lines. Start and select. There we go. I don't know what color. Should we try and match the glacier-esque color? I think that might be a little too bright of a blue. That's not the right shade. That's not the right shade. That's more of a greeny yellow. It's kind of purpley. I think that's pretty dang close. We'll call that one good. Yeah, touch sensor is working great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright. There's the brightness. Brightest. Yeah, I think that the start and select are just a little stiff because they're brand new. Pretty common. But I will test a little bit more before I ship it out. I always test everything before I ship it out. So, let's do the peel here. Get a picture of it. If you're wanting this bad boy right here, where's my phone? There it is. I'm going to list it right now on the website, retroremaster.com. It should be the top link in the description. And I have to scroll a bit to find another Game Boy I can copy, duplicate. Oh yeah, and also, hold up. I'll show it off in a second. We'll wait just one moment. Should probably turn it on, huh? Not super centered, but that's alright. But, ready for this? Okay, the glow isn't as much as I thought it would. But it glows in the dark. Yeah, that's not really. Hold up. Let me get it to glow for a second. This has been glowing just being in the side of my workstation for past couple days. There we go. That's a glow. And sorry about the flashbang. That is not. Oh gosh, why are you not adjusting? Sorry about that. That was way prolonged. But if you're wanting this, I'm dropping it down below right now. So there's that one. I'll apply the stickers. This has all 3 of them. Ooh. And then after we apply the stickers, we'll move on to finishing up Lugia. And we'll see if we can do it all before I get the low battery warning on my laptop, because I forgot to grab my charger. I still have my charger on me, I just didn't plug it in because I was rushing to start the stream. There we go. There is that. You don't get this game included, but you do get a random Japanese game included while supplies last. If you haven't seen that video, I recommend watching me clean. It was mostly cleaning, but fixing 100 Game Boy games. So there's that one. If you want it, it is available now, retroremastered.com. So for this one, what we're gonna do here is I have some double-sided tape somewhere. Guess I don't know where. I guess I'll get a new square of it out. It's very hard to peel something this tiny. Stick it down there. There's that. Now, should be able to test everything and it'll check out well. Seriously? Javier? Oh, my battery's dying? Welcome. Or not welcome. Thank you, Javier. Javier has now collected all 6 Infinity Stones. Shout out to Javier. Everybody say thank you to Javier in the chat. He has gotten every single model, at least one of every single model Game Boy from me. And it is super awesome. Thank you very much, man. I think these batteries are dead. But I think he has bought the most. I don't know. Mr. Scott has bought a lot too in the past. There we go. We got another sale? From Tilson. Bought the Game Boy Color we just finished modding. Okay. Something's not right here. Something is just not right. Okay, touchpad is working better now. But why is it dying? Maybe because it's just not all together now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright. Start, select, A, right, B, left, start again, down, select, and up. Cool. Alright, let's button it up and we'll do some more tests. I think it's just because we're not screwed down all the way. And I think those last set of batteries were dying. Because I've been using them for a couple weeks now. Alright. If y'all could hold off so I could buy this Lugia one, that'd be great. Well, I will, sorry, I was reading the owl joke in the chat. I will say this, because I haven't said it in a while. When it comes to me and getting the listings up on the website, the best course of action is to start refreshing about 10, maybe even 20 seconds before you actually hear me say it's listed, because there's about a 10-second delay on the stream. So for the best way to get it, the best chances, I recommend as soon as you hear me say okay and I start holding it at an angle like this with my phone out, like I'm about to take a picture of it, that's when you start refreshing that top link in the description. Okay. But first we gotta test it again, make sure everything's peachy and keen. And also gotta change that that Game Boy Color logo. Start, select, A, right, B, left, start again, down, select, and up. I like to do it that way just because start and select are the biggest troublemakers. So that way I get to test it twice to make sure they're good. And we can press start and select, and we can go tap, tap, tap. And I'm going to go for a yellow to match this accent. But again, if you want to change it when you get it in, it is as simple as holding both start and select down until just game is illuminated. Then tap the touch sensor twice till just color is illuminated. And start will get you through a lot of these colors. I'm going to see if there's a different yellow that I like more. And if you're like, oh man, I like that color, and you want to go back without circling through all like 30 colors again, you just hit select. Start goes through, and select goes backwards. So I think this is the only yellow that's going to be close enough. So we're going to do that. But again, you can change it to anything you'd like. We can peel the peel that was peeled once before, because I had to use it to take a thumbnail. Just trying to turn it on to turn it off. And now is the time that you want to be refreshing, because I am now going over and making that listing and focusing. Not Lucia. Don't do Lucia. Stupid autocorrect. It's Lugia. I know what I typed in. Apple just needs to add all of the Pokemon names to the dictionary. Alright, taking the picture. Done. Adding one to inventory. And it is now set live and active. Wait, now it's set live and active. There it is. Ugh. Thank you very much for doing this. I'm very glad to purchase the clear and the clear blue GBC. Well, thank you for purchasing. I appreciate it. I had a comparable issue with my touch sensor. Kent! Does it say Kent? Kent is the lucky winner of the Lugia GBC. But, I had a comparable issue with my touch sensor. The longer PCB GBC game interfered. Short PCBs didn't. Had to install a separate touch sensor. Yeah, sometimes that happens. Everybody's checking. Is your name Kent unaware? Is that you? Yep. Nice. I mean, I don't want to celebrate your win too much in case there was someone else you were battling. I don't want to make them feel bad. But thank you for your purchase. I really appreciate it. And if you're like, man, I'm a Lugia fan, but I'm more of a Ho-Oh guy. Bam. Oh, it's covered by the sticker. Bam. Mostly not covered. There's a Ho-Oh one that will be made soon to match. It might be a couple weeks though. Originally, I had the plan to do Ho today, and then I when I was going to make the thumbnail for this, I just grabbed Lugia and started taking pictures of it. I'm like, okay, guess we're doing Lugia instead. So, yep, that is that for today. Both Lugia and this one sold. Thank you both for purchasing. However, I know they're the lesser of the popular models. Oh wait, which one did Javier grab? Javier grabbed the red one, so red is off the table. But, and again, I need to swap that screw out. It's a capacitive screw, so it's going to be fun to replace. And we still have the pink and the blue, so if you're doing a gender reveal soon, that's a safe, maybe not cost effective, but safe way to do a gender reveal. That'd be a sick gender reveal, though. Wouldn't that be cool? I help with a proposal, and then I help with a gender reveal, too. But we've got this one still that kind of reminds me of, like, Naruto. I think it's Naruto colors. I'm not an anime guy, so I don't really know. But he's blue and orange, right? Where are my anime fans at? But then we also have the sick clear purple. It is a more saturated purple, but on the front you can definitely see into the PCB, which I think is really cool. It's not like the mirror finish, but you can definitely see a lot of detail. More than enough detail. So, yeah, I'm surprised the pockets. I know they're the least popular according to my poll, but I think people also like the clear shells the most. I've noticed that when I sell Game Boys, the ones that sell better are clear ones, and I mostly sell clear ones, but yeah. I really like the pink one just because I think this pink is really good, and it's just like the Hello Kitty one without the Hello Kitty design, which I'm not a Hello Kitty fan, but for some reason I want that pocket. So yeah, that is what is available. Goku and Naruto. I like to say Naruto because it upsets anime fans, aka my best friend, Naruto. But yeah, Naruto's orange, yellow, and black. Okay. I think Goku was the one I was thinking of, anyways. Goku's the one with the. I guess a lot of them have spiky hair, but the spiky hair, he's buff, and he's the one with the who's over 9,000, right? I feel like a dad, a dad trying to interact with his kids with things he knows nothing about. It's like my dad asking about Pokemon. That one's Blastoise, right? The guy with the water in the shell. I say it wrong too, and my son corrects me. It's just, it's funny to mess with my best friend, because even though he knows that I don't care about that stuff and I'm just messing with him, he's like, Naruto. Yes, over 9,000. Alright. I have gotten the low power warning from Apple, so that's about it for me. And, oh yeah, ask my sister because she knows all the Pokemon. Well, tomorrow she's going to guess Meowth. Well, she already did this a while ago, but tomorrow's short is my sister guessing Meowth. So, that was a good one. They're all good. But that will be what you can look forward to tomorrow. And then Friday, we're going to fix Joy-Con drift forever. Or that's what the company claims. So, I will see you guys in the next one. Later, guys. And I'm losing where the button is. There it is.